Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the State of Subsea event in Bangkok. I want to thank everyone for coming today. We've got a great studio audience here, and we've got a lot of people that are viewing this around the world, in quite a few countries, as I might add. My name is Jeff Seal, and I'm the managing partner for Telecom Review magazine. I already know several of you in the audience today and look forward to meeting the rest of you that I haven't already talked to. At each State of Subsea event, industry thought leaders from around the world come together and present new ideas, new information on new systems that are coming online and have already come online. And we look forward to hearing from all of you today. Now, today's event is attended by quite a few different people locally here and all the people worldwide. So you're going to see a lot of the camera activities coming on here, so that's why. I want to thank the organizers of this event today, and this includes AP Telecom, Telecom Review Magazine, Subtel Forum, North 6 Agency, and PTC. Today you're going to hear from several keynote speakers, several panels, and they're all going to be addressing the key challenges of what's going on in the industry today. Now, one of the things that we do at State of Subsea is we try to give back to the community. State of Subsea and its prime sponsor, AP Telecom, believe that it's best to always give back more than you take in this world. And one of the ways we do this is through donations to various organizations that are able to take care of that kind of credo. Today, we're proud to make a special donation to Friends International. Now, Friends International is represented today by Tim Timpani, and he is the technical advisor for Thailand program of Friends International. Making the donation presentation today will be Eric Handon, CEO of AP Telecom. Tim and Eric, if you would please come up on the stage, and we want to make this presentation. I'll let Eric go ahead and take it from there. Please.
If Ariette from Angola Cables can come on up, please. Okay. The State of Subsea is a 501c charity, and we wanted to give back in the communities in which we operate around the world. We're very honored to have Friends International here today, and hopefully the donation will help youngsters, young children in Southeast Asia, which Friends International Tim's going to tell us a little bit about. But we're very honored to have you here, and we want to thank everybody for coming. And hopefully, once again, the donation will help better the lives of those in this region. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Eric. And on behalf of Friends International, we'd like to thank the State of Subsea for this generous donation. And Eric has kindly allowed me a couple of minutes to share what we do at Friends International. And I wanted to start by saying that there's approximately 500 million marginalised children and youth in the world today. So these are children and youth who are living in poverty, children and youth who are affected by war, who are victims of abuse, victims of trafficking, using drugs, in prison, out of school. The list goes on and on. And these children and youth are found in every country in the world, and they all face a future where they're excluded from society and excluded from the benefits that brings, the financial and the social benefits that brings. And these benefits include food, include shelter, include healthcare, include technology that they're excluded from. They also they're also denied the feeling of belonging and accomplishment that comes from being a part of society and being a contributor to society. These children and youth also impact the entire stability of the world. We know that many of these marginalised children and youth will turn to crime, which impacts the security of the world. We know that many of these children and youth will face long-term unemployment when they're adults. And then this obviously reduces the total production and consumption capacity of the world. So it's not. We need to save these children and youth and bring them back into society, not just for their sake, but for the sake of the world's population. And the best way that we can do this is not by welfare or not by handouts. This only creates a lifelong dependence on charity or government. The best way that we can help these children and youth and bring them back into society is through empowering them with choices, choices that will bring them social and financial independence, and choices that will make them functional and productive citizens of society. And this has been the goal of Friends International for the past 20 years. And we're listening to these marginalised children and youth, understanding what their life's goals are, and working with them, working with their families, working with their communities, their governments, with their future employees, and providing them choices which will enable them to achieve those goals and enable them to be functional and productive citizens of society. And so every day our teams in Thailand, our teams in Cambodia, in Laos, in Indonesia, they go out and they find these marginalised children and youth wherever they may be, whether they're on the streets, whether they're in slum communities, whether they're in government shelters, whether they're in prisons. We find them, and the first thing we do is we make sure they're safe, and the second thing we do is we start the process of reintegrating them back into society. And for our children, for the young children, our focus is to get them back into school and to get them to stay in school. And last year in 2013, Friends International supported 4,000 children to return to school and to stay in school. And many of the children that we work with in this city, in Bangkok, they're not going to school because during the day, during the night, they're out begging so that their family can afford food and shelter. And so we work with their parents so that they can access better employment options, and so their children don't need to work. Their children can go to school and get an education. So basically we're providing them with a better choice. For the youth that we work with, our focus is not on getting them into school, but our focus is on getting them access to vocational training or employment. And last year, again in 2013, we supported over 1,000 youth to access vocational training and employment in this region. And the way we do this is we've established over 20 social businesses or social enterprises that not only generate profits for the organisation, which go towards funding our social programs, but these social businesses provide training and employment to these marginalised youth. So social businesses such as restaurants and motor mechanics and beauty salons and garment manufacturers. Again, we're providing choices to youth. And just in closing, as I said previously, the best way to help these marginalised children and youth of the world is to empower them with choices. And the children and youth that we work with, they don't lack the power to achieve great things. What they lack is the opportunity to access this power or to exercise this power. And so, as a social enterprise, we need to work together and partner with businesses, with governments, with civil society to empower these marginalised children and youth with choices, and so that they can bring themselves back into society and become functional and productive citizens. So again, thank you very much to the state of Subsea for this very generous donation, and we'll put it to good use to furthering our work in this region. So thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. And we're right on at 5 o'clock local time here in Bangkok, and I'll welcome back up to the stage Jeff Seal, our moderator of today's State of Subsea. Thank you.
Now it's time for our keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker today is Mr. Artur Mendes, who's the Director of Commercial and Marketing for Angola Cables. Artur has over 15 years' experience in the sales and marketing in the telecommunications business that includes submarine cables, mobile, and the satellite telecommunications sector. Please join me in welcoming Artur.
Thank you, Jeff, for the presentation. Thank you, State of Subsea and AP Telecom for the opportunity to speak. I had followed the two previous sessions of State of Subsea, but have not been able to join, and today I have that opportunity, even if Angola Cable have been spoken in any of that two events, previous events, and have been good represented. But anyway, I will speak about the company profile, Angola Cables, what we are doing, so that you could start to know us better.
Strategically located on the west coast of Africa, Angola, the 7th largest country in Africa, 27th in the world. More than 1,200,000 square kilometers, 1,600 kilometers of coastline, nearly 18.5 million inhabitants with 44% under 15 years of age. With a GDP of over $115 billion and an estimated growth in GDP for 2012 of 6.8%. With the fastest growing economy in Africa, with Moody's giving a positive rating and the IMF predicting that Angola will be one of 3 countries that will grow most this year. Deeply influenced by Western culture, both from the contact it had with almost 500 years of Portuguese colonization and by the emotional relationship it has with Brazil, Angola became an independent nation in 1975. It has vast natural resources such as phosphates, iron, copper, gold and diamonds, and is already the largest producer of oil in Africa. For some years, Angola lived through a turbulent period. However, today it is a politically and socially stable state and is seen by many as a regional power. It is a country that lives today in peace as a nation, with a deep commitment to national reconstruction. In the last 10 years, Angola has invested heavily in infrastructure, services, housing and health, and has rehabilitated more than 5,000 kilometers of roads, rebuilt 2,700 kilometers of railroads, and more than 148 train stations, reconstructed airports and seaports, developed the entire telecommunications sector, created special economic zones in order to promote the establishment of new business, built high schools and universities across the whole country, built and equipped hospitals, maternity clinics and health centers across the country, developed housing for young people. Some time ago, Angola defined telecommunications as a strategic area of development. With a privileged geographical location, the country has positioned itself as the telecommunications hub of Africa. With the wax cable going into operation through the Sangano station in Angola, the country seeks to meet the growing needs of the African continent, as well as the connections between Africa, Latin America, and Asia. Here is a country worth investing in. Here is Angola, a country of the future.
I started by presenting the video. The video has been produced in end of 2012, so the numbers could not be the most updated. But anyways, to give an idea, as most of the people don't know even where is Angola. So Angola is a country in Africa that have been during more than 30 years in wars, but it's trying to recover. There's still a lot of things that needs to be done, but we have been done a lot anyway in the last 10 years of peace, and we are keep doing. Angola Cables is a company that has been created 2009 by the 5 major Angolan operators to share a common infrastructure and to be able to maintain and support the international telecommunications especially in the submarine areas. Our shareholders, including Angola Telecom, that have 51%, Unitel, that is the incumbent operator, Unitel, that is the first mobile operator and the number one operator in Angola with 31%. You have MS Telco, that is the telecommunication arm of the oil company of Angola, Sonangol, that is MS Telco, with 9%. And then Movicel, the second mobile operator, and with 6%, and with 3%, Startel, the smallest one. And essentially, the government some time ago had a vision of transforming Angola to a telecommunication hub. And Angola Cables is most driven by that government and by the shareholders' vision in trying to put this strategy into place. Starting a bit to show about Africa as well, and some numbers about Africa. There's interesting numbers about Africa that I believe that most of the world normally don't look the way I think they should look. Angola is the second biggest, largest continent in terms of size and population after Asia, where we are. Africa have now more than 1 billion inhabitants. And the most interesting part of it is that great percentage of that population is under 30 years. So it's a very young population in Africa, and in Angola you'll see that the numbers are quite equals to these ones. And when we look to the communication space, then we see there's still a lot to be done in terms of internet penetration. There is less than 20% penetration still. When we look to mobile phones, it's true that the rate is higher, almost 70%. But anyway, when we look to most of the developing countries, we know that mobile penetration is now near 100% or above that. I live a great part of my life in Portugal. In Portugal, we are more than 130% already. So there's still space to grow here to more than double of what is currently. Even looking to Facebook, that is a trend in most of the countries, we could see that penetration is still very low, and that's normally due to the expensive prices and the lack of fiber optic arriving at people's home. In terms of the submarine cables and terrestrial connectivities in Africa, I would say that a lot have been done in the last decade. So you could see here a lot of cables. Most of them constructed after 2000, and most of them even probably with 3, 4, 5 years maximum. So a lot have been done compared to the old times that Africa almost didn't have any connectivity in terms of submarine cables. Nowadays we say that Africa is served with more than 30 terabytes capacity in terms of submarine cables. And also the terrestrial routes have been increased heavily, as we could see. Looking to Angola is what I told. So the trend is very similar to the rest of Africa in terms of average. In terms of population, numbers are always estimated because we just run a census this year in September. So numbers should appear, but what we say is that more than half of the population is, or 60% of the population is under 30 years. So it's a very young population as in the rest of Africa. And normally the young population are the early adopters of the new technologies. And all of these people are more than willing to start having their smartphones and having connections to the internet and also start to using these new technologies. In terms of mobile phones, we are also in the average of the rest of Africa, with still below 70% of users. Anyway, most of these African countries, and Angola included, or Angola essentially, have been able to develop the new technologies probably faster than most of the European countries, because it was nothing or everything was destroyed by the war. So we are sometimes jumping a few steps. And Angola nowadays is very well covered by 3G and 4G networks. Angola have been the first one or second one in Africa to launch a 4G LTE network. So on that sense, we are in the front line. Now looking to the assets of Angola Cables, WOX that was appearing on the film, of course, is the main reason why the company have been founded. And WOX is a cable system coming from the UK down until South Africa, touching UK, Portugal, Spain through Canary Islands, and then 11 countries in Africa, so touching a lot of countries, some of them that have been access to submarine cables by the first time. And Angola is one of the four biggest investors in these cables, as considered as Tier 1, and have started in 2012, and Angola have been starting the operations and the commercial operations in 2013. Anyway, at this stage, and being a small country, because we say Angola have 20 millions, and in this cable we are touching Nigeria, for example, that have 167 millions, so it's much bigger than Angola. Anyway, Angola is the third operator. Angola Cables is the third operator with most activated capacity on WOX at this stage. And even Angola, as the landing station, is the 50th biggest station in terms of activations along the 15 landing stations. So we are pushing and trying to make our part. This total cable investment was 650 millions, the total construction of the cable. And the cable, despite having only 2 years of operation, it will suffer upgrades. So mid next year, probably September, October, the upgrade will be done, and new technology will be changed from 10 gigabytes to 100 gigabytes. So capacity will increase heavily. Then our next project is Cable of America. Well, here in this presentation, I have Sax Oil speak about Sax before. I changed it in the presentation. So Sax, that is the South Atlantic cable system connecting Angola to Brazil. This is a 100% project of Angola, connecting directly on a route with 6,000 kilometers that we are thinking that we'll have 63 milliseconds on this route connecting, and we will be the first cable to be constructed on the South Atlantic. So if you look to the panorama and you know it in terms of submarine cables, all of the cables are crossing North Atlantic, and none have made this route. And for us, it's a quite interesting route to have it, and I will explain a bit more up front. The system will be 4 fiber pairs with total 40 terabytes capacity, and we are estimated to be RFS to be late 2016. So we still didn't announce formally to the market and the supplier. Supplier is chosen and closed. We are waiting for a special date, that is the independence date of Angola. So in November probably we'll have good news regarding the contract coming to force of this cable. And then we have Cable of America. I'm seeing that this is not the most actual presentation, Shan. You are using the old one. This cable, I would say both investments, Sax and Cable of America, is a total 260 million investments that Angola Cable is making. This cable is 6 fiber pairs, and Angola Cables have two fiber pairs on this system. The signature contract have happened now in August, and in 1 week time it will be announced to the market, because contract will come into force in exactly 1 week from now. And from that point in time, then we'll be able to know what are the partners involved on this cable. And for us, of course, we have a joint interest for us, because we are connecting Angola to Latin America, and then from Latin America up to North America through this cable that starts in Santos, stop in Fortaleza, where it will interconnect with the SACs coming from Angola, and then goes up until Miami, until Boca Raton. Then one of the other parts addressed by the company is also the data centers. Angonap is the one that we have already implemented in Angola that is working, but of course we are also working in future projects that slide should be here, but as it's not the latest presentation, probably will not be there. But Angola is working also in the development of a second data center of 10,000 square meters in Angola that should be ready by 2017. And we're also thinking about constructing a new data center also in Fortaleza to interconnect all the cables. Fortaleza have 5 submarine cables, so we think it's a good place also to have a data center there. This is the place where all the national operators are connected, but also some regional operators that are already having co-location in this data center. Let's try to be an open or neutral data center facility, of course, and the idea is to help and develop the interconnectivity in terms of Angola and also between the neighbor countries in Africa. One of the other projects that we are also developing is this Angonix, this internet exchange point in Angola. As most of the African countries didn't have before a true internet exchange point, that it was a big problem for us, as most of the traffic at this stage, even if I want to speak with my neighbor country in the south, with Namibia, I need to go up to Europe and to change my traffic there. With the start of the internet exchanging points in most of the African countries, of course, that problem will be suppressed, and we'll be able to share and to interconnect and share traffic among us, the several operators in Africa. So Angonix is a joint development that we have been making, powered by DKIX, the German biggest IXP in the world. And the idea is really to interconnect and to have the possibility to increase and to interconnect all the countries around the southeast part of Africa. Then, of course, the first idea that I started, it was about having Angola as the hub of the telecommunications. We believe that Angola is in a fortunate position in terms of Africa. It's a stable country with good relationships with all of the neighbors around, taking a leading position in terms of Africa development and also in terms of political stability, in acting in most of the African countries where there are still some problems, and Angola is trying to help. The idea is really through these cables and data centers to be able to transform Angola to a telecommunication hub, being able to connect then all the traffic coming from Asia Pacific to Africa, and then towards Africa to Latin America, and then to North America. And the idea is to have an alternative routes from there, to be able then to have a redundant path, avoiding some of the problems that are happening in some parts of the world. And we would like really to be part, and we are proud of to be part of that development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arthur. That was a very good presentation. Do we have any questions from the audience for Arthur? Yes, sir. John?
Oops, daisy. Arthur, I see you have your you're talking about the cable, the South Atlantic cable, and then you have the cable going to the US. Is the purpose of that routing primarily to provide a new and shorter connectivity between the African states and the United States mainly? Is that a principal application for that cable?
Is one of the reasons, of course. For us, the biggest idea is to get all the traffic from Africa to Latin America and then to North America, of course. But as I told you, it could also be an important alternative route to bring traffic from Asia Pacific. For us, as Angola, the join of these two cables, the SAX plus the Cable of America, represent for us achieving United States at almost half of the time that we had currently by the route through Europe and then North Atlantic. So for us, in terms of efficiency, is a much better route, of course. But yes, most of the traffic will go to United States in that sense, yeah.
Any other questions for Arthur?
Thank you, Dan.